Take some time and answer some questions I keep seeing popping up all over the forums for these F100 to Crown Vic builds. Now, I do have an F100, and I went and got myself a Mercury Grand Marquis. Which is going to bring up probably the first question I really need to answer. Which one should you buy? A Grand Marquis, a Lincoln Town Car, or a Crown Vic? The differences between a Mercury Grand Marquis, a Crown Victoria, and a Lincoln Town Car, pretty much nothing. They're all super similar. Things you need to be aware of is it a P71 edition or Police Interceptor edition Crown Victoria, which the only difference between the base Crown Vic and a Police Officer edition is they have stiffer springs. There's not any more horsepower there. Don't believe that nonsense people keep telling you. They're the same horsepower in the Crown Vic and the Crown Vic P71 edition, along with the Mercury Grand Marquis and Lincoln Town Cars. They all have the same exact engine under the hood. People keep saying, police cars are faster. No, they're not. They're exactly the same. They have a bigger alternator for a little more output and stiffer springs. That's it. Now, only other thing you need to be careful with some of the Marquis and Lincoln Town Cars is some of them did come with rear air suspension. If you want that, great. Something to look for when you go to pick one up is look underneath and check to see if it has airbags in there or not. If it has airbags, it's going to cost you more money to upgrade that. But if you want it, great, go with it. Let's talk about the actual power plant itself. The 4.6 liter modular motor, they're terrible. Don't get me wrong. They don't even make okay power. They're terrible for power. But for reliability for a daily driver, they definitely have that down. Those engines can take pretty good abuse and keep going. You're going to be buying a used car, probably with over 100,000 miles on it. Mine has 180,000 miles on it. It runs like a champ. Still pretty fun because the torque is up, but to get new cams to help fix that, they're stupid expensive. If I didn't happen to have a modular motor from a Mach 1 floating around already, it's not the route I would have gone. I would have leave the engine and transmission in the junkyard and use the chassis with get my disc brakes, get my panhard bar, possibly limited slip if it happened to have the option with it, and went and got myself a 351 Windsor with an AOD from the junkyard or off a marketplace and cleaned it up and throw a whole top end and custom cam in there, carbureted it, done, good to go. I mean, I probably lean more towards fuel injection for myself, but that's me. But the 351 is going to make, with a good set of trick flow heads and a good cam, it's not going to be as expensive as just buying a supercharger, and you're going to be making over 400 horsepower to begin with. So, your choice. Depends what you want to do. I mean, I've seen guys do LS swaps in these things too. And there's plenty of places like Outcast Auto Works. They make all sorts of mounts for you to mount all this stuff into these Crown Vic chassis, which is flipping awesome. The amount of options you have really dials in what you want to do. Your choice. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the extra little things you get with doing the Crown Vic swap. Most people, you're probably trying to do this build on a budget. And most people I know are like, throw a carburetor on there. So you go ahead and look up the price of an intake manifold for a modular motor for a carburetor. Yeah, it's cheaper to go ahead and stick with factory wiring harness from the car. This is where things change up a little bit for which one you prefer to have based off what you plan on doing. If you're going to be using the Crown Vic engine and transmission, I recommend a 2003 to 2004 model car, Crown Vic, Mercury, Marquis, whatever, because their OBD2, 05 to 09 cars are CAN bus. What does that mean? CAN bus means everything in the vehicle is integrated together, which is great for everyday stuff, but when you're trying to just use the computer for the engine and leave the inside retro, you really don't get away with that. So on the 05 to 09, you have to use the steering column, the shifter, the gas pedal to make the computer work correctly. You can't thin out the wiring and some of the extra stuff, but there's some things you have to use. It's like when people used to buy Hellcat engines. You had to buy everything with the gas tank, the factory fuel pump, the steering column, the computer, the radio, all that because it all talked together, it's all integrated together, which makes it more difficult for the build. I do not want a Crown Victoria steering column in my vintage looking truck. I want to leave the interior vintage. So 03, 04 is a lot easier to rip out all that stuff. You don't need to use the factory steering column. You can wire it right into your factory ignition on this truck and turn the key from the vintage truck in the and it will work. Not everything, you can use the factory gas pedal with a cable line. Or the other option you have, if you have a newer vehicle, you just happen to have one because somebody had one and it was cheaper, great, no problem. You can go Holley Terminator. They have a standalone engine management system just for these modular motors. And if you get Terminator Max, they have the built-in transmission controller. More expensive, but it depends on what you want to do and what your overall build is going to be. LS Swap, same thing. Terminator, other companies make these harnesses as well. I lean a little more towards Holley, which is probably the direction I'm going to go with this truck, mainly because I have a different engine to put in there. The computer from the Grand Marquis will run my 4-valve motor that I happen to have here, but it's not going to run it great, and I don't want to have to trailer it to somebody to dyno tune it if I don't have to. So Holley Terminator keeps me from having to pay the extra expense, and I'd be able to hook it up, start the truck, and drive it from the get-go. Not I got to get it somewhere, tune it, and then if I opt to later add a turbo or supercharger, I now have to again take it back to a tuner to have them dyno it for me to tune it accordingly for what I want. Versus I just plug in the new turbo supercharger, tell the computer I have it, boom, it creates a custom map for me, and I can drive it. And then if I later want to get max power out of it, I can still go to the tuner, but I can at least still enjoy my vehicle while I have it, and I have to take it to someone else to do it. If I was going to take it to someone else, I would have just bought the truck done to begin with. The less I take it somewhere, the better it is for me, and probably you, because we're all on budgets like most of us are. We have stupid amounts of money to spend, at least I don't. I mean, if you do, that's awesome. That's going to cover everything for today. I hope this helps some people make better decisions on what they're going to purchase. I feel like people complicate this process way too much. It's not that difficult. Even if you get one that's not exactly what you need, you can make it work. There's tons of options, plenty of companies out there helping people get this done. I will be documenting this entire build process for me doing this, and it's going to be pretty interesting because I have a 2-car garage with 1 car already completely custom painted that I have to keep everything away from while I take the bodies off of 2 vehicles. I'm going to have to mechanic the crap out of this. But if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. You got more questions, be sure to put them in the comments below. Till next time, peace. Go work on your own cars.